All right, morning guys. Update on the Aussie built 750 Cruzer. Bit of a case of hurry up and wait, unfortunately. Just waiting on everything. I'll show you that in a minute. But has given me a chance to mow the lawns, do the hedge, clean the pool, and get some domestic duties done. But here's an update on the aircraft. Okay, pretty much come to a standstill at the moment. No fault of my own. So just a run through, I guess. I've got the wings sitting here. Wings are all but complete. I've even filled the, just to neaten things up. I've showed that in previous videos. Filled the edges. If that was a low point, I would have left that for the water to run out. But obviously the low point's at the root end. So wings are done. Just need a final sand and a prime. I've left off the inboard top skin panel. This is the bottom skin, but the inboard top skin panel on both sides to hook things up. So they're right to go. I have secured a hangar spot. They're sitting there, waiting there, ready to go off to the airport. As far as the tail goes, I've had the horizontal stab fitted. I could fill the tips of the stab up there, but I'll wait. That's a little job. One of those jobs you could do just before you knock off of a night time and let the glue cure. Up the front, I've got word that my engine mount and cowl, prop spinner, engine, firewall forward is pretty close. They're just waiting for the engine mount and cowl, which came from the USA. I'm just about to pay the customs and import duty and everything else on that. And once that's all together from Bundaberg in Queensland, they're going to ship that down. So I'm waiting for the engine mount primarily. The engine mount will bolt in here and also through to this the cabin frame up there. Once the engine mount's bolted on, I'll ship that off and get it powder coated white. Then the engine can go on, tail stand can come out. With the engine on, I think it'd be great to transport on a trailer out to the airport. So that's where we're at with the engine, so waiting on that. As far as my MGL Avionics goes, I'm waiting on harnesses. See, my radio's just sitting here, so the harness for this, so I don't know, which also runs off to the headset leads. I've made up a headset mount. It's going to go about here if the leads are long enough. I've quoted my length. Now, I'm not too sure, but I ring the company in Australia, but I'm pretty sure they get the harness made up in South Africa and shipped out. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, I'm still waiting a while. Also with the RDAC, which will go on the firewall. And once again, I have to just wait until the engine mount is fitted. But the RDAC will go on the firewall, cut a hole with a pass-through for more looms to connect the RDAC up. So that's waiting for that. Things like I could potentially just hook up my pitot tubes, and I've got fuel tank sender wires to run up to the RDAC at the front there. So Avionics waiting on harnesses. One good thing, I guess, while waiting, a bit of a hold up at the front, it allowed me to get the interior complete. I probably wouldn't have jumped in and done this if I had the engine sitting there, but this is looking really good with the interior. Now the seats, I've shipped those off to the upholsterer. They're getting made up. With the seats, I basically said to him, because it's very hard if you're not aware. If you weren't aware with the seats, I found it very difficult to picture. With a colour scheme, you can picture it in your head, red, white, and blue, whatever you're going to do. In my case, orange, black, and white. But with the seats, black. There's about 7 different blacks. Texture, leather, obviously the price of the material. Any sort of trims and those sort of bits. So I've gone with black seats, but then I sort of said just spruce them up a bit. He's a bit of a, he's like a custom upholstery guy, young guy, so he does a lot of hot rods, speedboats, that sort of thing. So I said, just jazz them up a bit, personalise them a bit, so I don't actually know what I'm going to get. I suggested maybe some orange piping or orange trim on the black with either grey or white, the inserts or something like that. So I've given him free range, hoping they don't look like grandma's armchair, but I sort of trust him you know, they should look pretty good. When you open the door, the first thing you look at is the seats, I guess. They're pretty prominent when they sit in there. So we'll see what we pick up soon from the upholstering shop. Now with the control stick here, I've got a boot coming. So the nice leather boot. I lashed out a bit. It's costing quite a bit of money, shipping and postage. That's coming from Flightline Interiors in the US, but it's specifically made for the Cruzer, for this aircraft, and it should drop in or clip in there and be a nice boot similar to what a car has around the stick. I see some people scoop out that panel there for like up elevator for back, but I don't know. I'm looking at the factory setting, you got all this forward, so I assume the stick, like neutral, sits forward there somewhere to give you, 20 apples and oranges and 20 apples and oranges that way. So yeah, that'll be interesting when I rig it up. I think neutral must be in a forward position to give plenty of up elevator, rather than scallop out. If I have to, but see what others have done. And once the seats arrive, I'll mount those. I'll hop in there and slide my butt fore and aft to find my position that I like. I've discussed that before. I'm not going to have the sliding seat option. I think it's too cumbersome and too heavy, to be honest, where you can manually adjust the seat if need be. I know it's probably nice to slide it back to hop in and then slide it forward. Realistically, are you going to use that? I don't think so. Passenger, slide it all the way back. Happy days. Once the seats arrive, I've got my carpet cut. I'll double side tape the horizontal surface, and I plan to I'll just put Velcro on the front, the calf flap goes behind your calf muscles, just so I can get in there in future if I need to. I can lift the flap up. I may even put nuts on the back of the bolts that hold the seats there, because there's plenty of access in there, or just go with the anchor nuts. So that's where the seats are at the moment, and the interior. Really happy with the dash. That's come up really good. You can see I've got the side panel off there. Still have to run once I get the engine, a fuel line. So I need to figure out, I've got a fuel pump sitting there, the facet fuel pump, whether that goes in there or firewall side. With the firewall, the considerations there, I'm going to start sort of biggest to smallest. So the big parts would be the airbox. Jabiru has a nice big airbox. In a Jabiru, it sits horizontal. On this aircraft, I believe it's going to have to sit vertically there. And just a single battery on the other side. Consideration there with the battery, of course, is if it's on a bracket, you need to be able to get it out. I'm not sure if I get a start relay. On the bench over here, I've got my master relay wired up, ready to go in, with the this doohickey across here. What's the name escapes me at the moment. Diode across there. So my master solenoid's ready to go in. Once again, I think they'll go firewall side, or I could potentially put them in here. And I'm not sure if I get a start relay from Jabiru, or I'll order another Lamar start solenoid. So that's where the wiring's up to as well. Sort of stopped waiting for parts there. I'm just using my model aircraft batteries here as well, just to charge or to power the system. I've got a 4S, which is about 14 volts, and a 3S, about 11.1 volts, that I just hook up to some alligator clips, plug into my bus bar to get it going. The top of the door sills, now I've got those, they're all rigged up, they're over there on the bench. Just wondering how others have done it as well. I want to maintain my grey on the inside, so you end up with a thin piece. You got to sort of paint one side will be grey and this side will be orange on my aircraft. The door, all the way around the door, down about, probably down, haven't exactly decided yet, but probably down to this horizontal, if that's level. I'll see if that's level with a laser level, or zero. That'll all be orange. So I haven't put those on yet permanently. One, I can still get a straight edge on here, or level for my zero. And two, they need to be painted. I think it's easier to paint them on the bench than it is to paint them once they're installed. The colour scheme I've come up with, I did put a lot of time into it. I I showed in previous videos, the orange, black and white, the Australian Fantacan colour scheme. And half the reasoning is I can paint these three sides white, leave the bottom while it's sitting on its wheels, then mask up and paint the bottom will be orange and orange trim up the side. So that'll work out really well. That's my thinking on the paint. Also, while I've had a bit of downtime, just going off the Zenith plans, and I've extrapolated or taken the all my figures there, VA, VFE, V&E, cruise, stall, my red and yellow arcs, green arc, white arc, to set up the MGL gauges, and I've converted it to, I prefer knots, so I operate in knots. I think Americans seem to like miles per hour, but I've gone with knots, so set up my gauges. And on top of that, I've also done my oil pressure gauges and all my sensors on the IEFIS screen. All right, so there's a quick whip around, I guess. As you can see, got a clear bench, a couple of clean benches. Hurry up and wait at this stage, so it's not too bad. It gives me a bit of time just to go over what I have done and just do some of those fiddly little jobs, but do them right, get them correct. However, I'm chewing at the bit to get stuck into it, but the big move's coming soon. We'll move out to a hangar. COVID has held that up a bit. So organise a trailer. Obviously I've got to build, I've got to move into the hangar first. I want to paint the hangar floor, build some benches, hang my toolboards up out of the hangar, think about lighting, things like that. So I'll get all that done. Then I'll move my Jabiru across, and the Cruzer will go in there as well, and then we'll continue building. So there's going to be a bit of a hold up there, I guess, at the moment. But I expect the engine, we'll do an unboxing soon, hopefully this week, of engine mount, cowl, and I really hope that the engine mount and cowl are the correct ones. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching that. If you do like these videos, please like and subscribe. It does help. I'm trying to build the channel up, so I appreciate your help in that. Trying to forge ahead with the build. Just highlight the facts that there are hold-ups sometimes. Make your own choices, forge your own path, enjoy your building. Thanks for watching.